If you're a business owner like me that is concerned about how do I grow my business, I just want to share with you one investment tip that I've utilized for my business to help me grow and scale. And that's in investing in your team. I'm going to share with you some common sense, no nonsense tips on what I did to help me grow my company and how I overcame my own challenges in terms of doing it. So stay tuned. Hey, how's it going? My name is Eric. I'm your abundant BFF. And as always, I'm here to help you find freedom and abundance. Now, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but the problem with my entrepreneurial journey is for a long time, I was what we call a solopreneur, basically operating by myself, trying to do everything on my own. And as I was raised as a young man, my parents are refugees from the Vietnam War. My dad always told me one thing: Eric, the way to save money is to do everything yourself. And I used to model my version of success based on what I saw my dad do. He would work 80 hours a week at his engineering job, then come home, do some more side work. And this whole notion of like working hard, not smart, I'm not teasing my dad, I'm not saying he didn't work smart, but this whole notion of like working hard was ingrained in my head. So for a long time, for many of my businesses, I focused on just doing everything on my own until just a couple of years ago, I just kept hitting burnout in my accounting business. Now I have a different accounting business. I have a couple of employees that work for me and it's fantastic. But just 2 years ago, it was just myself doing all the accounting and tax work. And I was getting burnt out over and over again. Until one day my son told me, hey dad, I don't want to go to school in a physical location anymore. I just want to do online high school. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, well, we could travel, we could do stuff. So at that moment, I was like, okay, let's travel and let's do things nomadically, but I still needed to continue running my business. We ended up deciding on going to live in Bali for a couple of months. Bali is this beautiful island in Indonesia, but I was like, how am I going to still operate my business and also enjoy Bali at the same time? And for a number of years, one of my friends kept telling me, Eric, you need to hire an assistant. At the very least, have somebody respond to your emails and do your scheduling and keep things on task and stuff like that. Now, unlike most entrepreneurs, I have this sense of ADHD, attention hyperdeficit disorder, and it's not diagnosed, but that's just the way that my brain operates, where I see big picture things and I can implement and execute relatively quickly, but the little details are missing. So I realized that one of my shortcomings was the detail-oriented tasks I wasn't great at. So I started looking for an assistant that was number one, detail oriented, and number two, able to keep up with my crazy brain. So I identified what I needed. I started writing down first, like what were the tasks I do over and over again that I could hire somebody else to do that I didn't need to do a lot of training for. And a lot of entrepreneurs, we call this MWAs. What are your minimum wage activities? What are the activities that you could hire somebody for at a minimum wage per hour job so that we could focus your attention on the bigger tasks, the bigger money-making tasks. So she was my first hire as Rebecca. She's my assistant and she's still my assistant to this day. I brought her on board, and this is before Vince and I left to go to Bali. We were meeting in my house a couple days every single week, building systems, putting systems and things in process. The next thing I realized I needed to do was hire a CPA in my company. I do a lot of CPA or accountant related work like bookkeeping and reconciliation and all that, but I didn't want to do it when I was living on Bali. I mean, like, why are you going to go to Bali and do accounting in Bali? It sounds ridiculous. So that was my next hire, as I went to go and hire an accountant to replace myself. And you know, what was really hard for me as an entrepreneur at first was to say, I'm going to pay this person $40,000 a year to do this job, and this person $25,000 or X amount of dollars per year. I could be doing it myself. And that's the problem that a lot of us entrepreneurs have. That was what was going on in my head. Why am I spending this money? I could be doing it myself. Not realizing that I was artificially limiting the growth of my company. Anyway, once I overcame that hurdle, I hired both of these team members. We started operating the business, and my son and I, we packed up our entire house and we went to go live in Bali. Needless to say, that was a completely different time zone than Southern California. And the first couple of weeks, although we did training while still in the US, the first couple weeks were a little bit challenging because there's things that we had communication breakdowns, systems were in place, and sometimes my assistant would mess up, and sometimes my accountant would mess up. And it was easy for me to get mad and say, I'm gonna do it all on my own. Not realizing or not remembering that not everybody's perfect. Mistakes happen. What I do isn't life or death. Like, I'm not snipping somebody's like heart and they're gonna die because of my decisions, right? I do accounting. I mean, let's get real here. This is not life or death stuff. So I realized that, okay, not everybody is perfect, and okay, how do we utilize these mistakes to train so that avoid those situations later? And that's what I did to help me grow my business. Little did I realize that that trip that my son Vincent wanted us to do, live in a foreign country for a couple of months, would be the impetus or the momentum that was needed to help me grow my business to where it is today. Now my business, I have 2 accountants that work for me. I have 2 tax preparers that work in-house. I have an attorney now that works in-house, and then my assistant and then my video guy that's behind the camera, all because it started with me realizing that in order for me to grow my business, I need to get beyond myself. I don't need to be working in the business. I need to be working on the business. So what are some of the takeaways as a business owner? The first thing is you're probably going to want to hire sooner than you think you do. The natural thing that a lot of us business owners do is we're not great at delegation. We're great at trying to keep things, and we're control freaks. Let's face it, I'm a complete control freak if you got to know me, as you'll get to know me on a more personal level. I'm a control freak. I love to micromanage everything, but that micromanagement, that control freak nature prevents me from growing my company. So hire sooner than you think, and you'll be really gratified to realize that it's going to free up a lot of tasks, a lot of mental bandwidth and time that you didn't realize you were burning. The second thing is be really clear on what you're hiring for. Build clean job descriptions and job tasks. The way to do that is this exercise I call, what are your minimum wage activities? Get a whiteboard or Post-it notes and write down every task that you do that you could probably hire somebody that's earning $10 or $15 an hour to do, because that will allow you to focus on the $20 an hour stuff, the $50 an hour stuff, the $100 an hour stuff. What are the minimum wage tasks that you're doing in your business that are restricting you from actually clearing up your bandwidth to focus on the big stuff? Utilize that list to build out your job descriptions. The next thing, the third takeaway, is nobody is perfect. The common notion is that you're going to hire some superstar and they're going to take everything off your plate and they're going to do everything exactly perfectly. Not going to happen, right? You might find a unicorn, and if you do, God bless yourself. But the vast majority of times, your employees, when they first start working for you, are going to make mistakes because they don't know your process and you haven't probably adequately communicated your process to them as well. So understand that mistakes are going to happen, but turn mistakes into training opportunities. How do you prevent that from happening next time? What systems or SOPs, systems and processes, can you put into place to prevent that issue? And the last takeaway is building your team is an investment. Prior to me building my team, I was a tax preparer, tax professional, accountant that was probably making about $100,000 per year in terms of revenue. Now, 2 years later, with me having a full built-on team, my revenue is 5x that, and we're just getting started with scaling and growth, right? Investing in your team is what's gonna actually help you grow your business, because the vast majority of business owners need to realize that your business is labor intensive. And if you're the only one doing the labor, your money is gonna be in full scarcity. So again, my name is Eric. I'm your abundant BFF. I'm here to help you find freedom and abundance. And as you can see, hiring good employees will free up your time and will give you material abundance in ways you may never have thought about before. Now, I make videos on here on YouTube once per week. If you're brand new here, I would love to have you come and join me as a subscriber. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and come and watch my videos every single week. I would love to hear your feedback, any comments. Put your questions and comments in the comment section below. I respond and answer each and every single one of them. If there's a video topic you want me to talk about, whether it's about investing, tax, finance, about life, I would be happy and overjoyed to be able to make content that's exactly what you're looking for. Also, if you know anybody else that's on this entrepreneurial journey, on this journey of looking to become a better version of themselves, please send this video. I would love to be part of their journey as well. With that said, I make videos here once a week, and I would love to keep chatting with you once again. Have an amazing day. We'll talk again soon. Peace.